All right, I'm going to move us on to the next news piece. So, this one, it's about Project Cars 3. All 5 people in the audience got excited. So, so Project Cars 3, the upcoming sequel to the racing simulator franchise of Project Cars, is set to include VR support when it launches this summer on PC. The game, which recently unveiled, wait, did I read this right? The game which was recently unveiled by Slightly Mad Studios is set to include a bevy of new features in addition to the 12K resolution and what it calls best in quotations best in class VR support on PC, which actually is really cool to see from a company that is creating a not VR first game, to have that level of like, we want it to be the best VR racing sim. Pretty cool.
Just wait till we get 12K resolution in a VR headset. That way it can fully support it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is crazy.
I can't imagine how good that would look, and I can't imagine how many video cards you would need to run it.
My headset looks better than real life.
Yeah. It's the future. It's real. There are TVs like, some of the high-end OLED TVs that you have, and you look at it and it's like, this is more colorful and more real than real life. Like, eventually the headsets will be to that point and it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. But
it's definitely going to get there.
I see where you bring up Project Cars, even though it's not a fully VR game, they're really going for this. I think that's smart because I can't tell you how many videos I've seen of people who are these full 3-monitor cockpit racing sim type people. The minute they try a game in VR, they get rid of their whole rig because it's just so much more real.
Absolutely.
It makes a huge difference. So I think they're smart to do that because they're realizing the sim racing world is going to move very swiftly to VR and get rid of all of those crazy cockpit setups, honestly.
Yeah, we have a very similar thing going on with for those that are familiar, Microsoft Flight Simulator has been getting like more and more trailers and more details. But one of the things we're most looking forward to as VR users is VR support, because most flight sims have VR support now. And it's when the first details were coming out and we got some trailers of Microsoft Flight Sim, they were like, we don't have any plans to support VR. And the VR flight community is large now, and they were very vocal. And they're like, what are you guys doing? Like, all of your people are moving to VR now. This is where we're going. So they totally did a 180. We're not expecting VR on support or on launch like Project Cars is doing, but they have been saying like VR is now like really a focus for ours. It's probably still not going to come out at launch, but we're hoping to get it out at some point after launch, which is cool to see. So I'm just going to say a little bit about Project Cars 3 for those that are like, okay, cool, that has VR support, but I want to hear a little bit about the game rip. So I don't know if you guys have watched my hands, why do they do this? I don't know if you guys watched the trailer or have played the previous Project Cars 2, but this one looks to be a little bit more focused on sort of street cars and street racing.
Yes.
It's less of like almost Forza Horizons-ish. I don't think it's still going to be on tracks, unlike Forza Horizon, which was more of like a free realm thing. But it is going to be more sports cars. We've literally seen like either very little to no footage of like GT racing or Formula racing. Now, I think a lot of people are excited about this because a lot of people are into sports cars. Admittedly, for myself, I'm the kind of person that likes the racing stuff. I play these games because I'm like, I want to get strapped into a GT car, or I want to play a Formula. I want to play in a Formula car. That's the cool part to me. And especially one of my favorite parts about Project Cars 2 is that you have a whole career in these games. As someone who's like has only gotten into these kinds of games after getting into VR, because I didn't care to like play these games on a monitor. I was so inexperienced that I enjoyed being able to work through a career of, all right, I'm working in like the beginning, sort of like you start in karts, and then you can go to like early GT stuff, and then work your way up till you're at like GT5 or whatever it is, or like up to Formula One, like stuff like that. I worry they're not going to have that focus, and for people like me, where it's more about sims of the races, I don't know. I worry it's a little more arcadey than I'd like.
I wonder if they're gonna keep the real car physics, but just give the more cars. Because I mean, I liked uh oh, what was it called? Drive Club. It was kind of arcadey, but it was really cool to be able to give someone a VR headset and put them inside of a Porsche or something, and they were like, "Wow, look at this car!" Like that's where you can excite other people with it. For the hardcore, diehard enthusiasts like you, yeah, this might not be exactly what you're wanting, but I think I'm more interested in it hearing that side because I want to play in some of these crazy high end cars and go crash them and
Right.
see how it feels.
Right? I want to play in a Porsche.
Say again?
I want to play in a Porsche.
Yeah. And I mean, I see the appeal. It is cool. Though I wasn't the only one that was saying this. There were a lot of comments on these. I was watching it on YouTube, so it was YouTube comments, and there were a lot of people that were saying even for sports cars, they weren't. They were worried that Project Cars wouldn't be the project of cars that the previous games were, where they're going for more variety instead of more focus. And a lot of us play because we want those wheels to warm up and we want the tracks to warm up as more cars go over them, and those little details that make a big difference in real life. So once you know what to look for, you know when it's missing. So yeah, I don't know. I like arcade stuff too, but I want, there's a ton of games that do racing, and there's a lot of games that do VR racing now. Project Cars, you are the sim game. you know,
Stay in your
Li-
lane, people.
yeah, live up to it. If you keep making those games, then that entire sim community is going to get your game. I don't know. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. My 2 cents.
Well, we'll see how it is when it comes out.
Yes.